Welcome back to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Services. A leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio, our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online, DonahueAccountingService.com. I'm your host, Alex Meacham, former Bearcat basketball player from 1997 to 1999 under the Hall of Fame coach, Bob Huggins.
And I'm Neil Meyer with the Front Office News.
And I'm JT Smith, editor-in-chief of the Front Office News.
All right, fellas, we're back for another episode. Let's jump right into it. The Bearcats are currently 15-11 after losing to West Virginia 59-62. This is the Bearcat game recap segment sponsored by Purple Monkey Project. JT, thoughts on the Bearcats' performance?
Man, they showed some grit, but man, it's disappointing, man. You're up 6 points in the second half, on the road, got it in front, got the goal in front of you, and West Virginia wanted it more, and that hurts. This was one of those games, man. They get out rebounded again. I said they had to keep it within 5. I think they lost the rebounding battle by 8, so that's rough. You know, you shoot 2 for 7 from the free throw line. In a game, you lose by 3. It's like, man, it's rough, man. You know, the Iowa State game was one that was close, but then it was Iowa State. So you kind of look at it like, all right, it's Iowa State, top 10 team. West Virginia is not a slouch by any means, but when your back's against the wall, it's a team you can't lose to, and they lost. So, it dampers, the hygiene thing. It dampers everything, man. It's just back to like no haircuts. You got Temu brand clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? There's no Mary, whatever the kids is wearing. It's not none of that. It's real. Yeah, you're neck deep in it. Pause. Neck deep in it.
Yeah, pause that. So, yeah. JT, let me ask you this. So, again, another Bearcat basketball game where we only have 6 turnovers and still lose.
Man,
that's so rare.
Yeah, it's like they protect the ball.
Yeah.
Maybe it's crazy. Like, I've never seen it. It's like protect the ball, then they shoot terrible from the line. You know what I'm saying? Then, it might be a game where they have a lot of turnovers and they shoot great from the line, right? So then they lose because it's like they can never have, all right, you're doing good protecting the basketball, but then at least shoot 65% from the free throw line. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, it's always like, it's the ebbs and flows are crazy in each game if you look at the numbers. It's like, it's hard to catch a balance, man. And, that's why they're in that position they're in.
Not good. Neil, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, first off, talking about the game last night, obviously some news came out tonight surrounding point guard Connor Hickman. He underwent a surgery today in North Carolina. Wes Miller said on his weekly radio show. Sounds like the injury was a little bit more serious than what a lot of people initially thought. And from the quote that he says was, after the Xavier game, he was trying to play in practice on basically a broken foot. Wes also said that it was worse than they initially thought and should have probably gotten surgery sooner. But essentially, Connor Hickman was trying to fight through what is now known as a broken foot. So he underwent surgery that would knock him out for the remainder of the last 3 to 4 games, plus the Big 12 tournament. So overall, you hate to see that news come out tonight. But then obviously last night I think it was a disappointment in many different ways. Obviously, JT mentions the free throw shooting. But it's worth noting the 2 free throws that Cincinnati did make out of the 7 came from Aziz Bandego. Your 7-footer was the only one that buried the free throws there. But you got to get in a game like that where you knew you kind of were going to be without a leading scorer. You would have liked to see Cincinnati kind of attack the paint more and try to get West Virginia into foul trouble and kind of foul hunt. But unfortunately, they didn't go that route. And I mean, when you're without Simas Lukosius, obviously that kind of throws your lineup and everything into a rut, especially with his ability to kind of score the ball. But they're playing shorthanded. And then on top of it, you're not really attacking. You're not being aggressive. it's not going to win many games, unfortunately, especially on the road in the Big 12 with a big must-win opportunity, a big quad one, because Cincinnati is now sitting without a quad one win on the season after UCF has lost, now 6 or 7 in a row. So overall, Cincinnati's still searching for a quad one victory this year. But overall, there's a lot of things you can really take away in this one. JT hits free throw shooting, you get out-rebounded. But in the end, this team needs to find some sort of offense. And you look down at it, they were tied, or what was it, 49-48 with about 9 minutes to go. And then you essentially go 8 minutes without a field goal before Day Thomas kind of gives you some kind of light there to cut the deficit from 8 to 5 with just above a minute playing. In that kind of aspect, you got to find ways to get to the foul line, be aggressive, continue to attack, take the free points from the foul line. That's something that you kind of look on and be like, okay, maybe I wish I would have done that. But in the end, they just fell short. Obviously, Dan Skillings knocks down the 2 huge threes there to kind of give them an opportunity to send this game to overtime. But in the end, Cincinnati just wasn't aggressive enough, in my opinion. I mean, you look down at the stat sheet right now, Day Thomas and Jizzle James went a combined 11 for 35. So when you see those two guys put up 35 shots, I mean, you got to get some kind of offense outside of everybody else. Dylan Mitchell had a fantastic night, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 5 of 8 shooting. Dan Skillings had 10 points, which was the first time he scored double digits in the last month. So that was a great sight to see for Dan. But outside of those guys right there, you really didn't get many points from anybody else. Josh Reed, only 4 points. Aziz Bandego, only 4 points. You would have liked to see Aziz get more than one shot attempt there. But overall, you're happy with the 10 rebounds from Aziz. But overall, Cincinnati just wasn't aggressive enough, in my opinion, last night in Morgantown.
So, Neil, with Connor Hickman, he's out the rest of the year. How many games has he missed in total? Or plus the games he'll miss at the end of the season? What will his total be?
That's a great question.
And with that being asked, he's a senior, correct? So this is over.
Yeah.
Right?
Potentially, because I know the way college basketball kind of works now, like I might be wrong on this, so don't quote me, but I believe last time I checked, he was just over the minute restriction required for a medical red shirt. But I'm sure that there's a potential argument there that Cincinnati could fight for a red shirt or a medical red shirt for Connor Hickman. It might take some arguing, but I'm sure that that's something that's probably been discussed already and something that could potentially be on the table in the future. But looking down at it, Connor Hickman has missed. He last played at Baylor on January 7th. So you look down, he would have missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 games plus the Big 12 tournament. So majority of
games
of the season.
All right. So Connor Hickman's been out. CMOS is obviously hurt. You get Josh Reed and Jizzle in foul trouble. That's four players. And that's, you know what, you can say what you want about Wes. I know he's getting criticized for some different things, but I mean, it's tough as a basketball coach. JT and Neil, you guys can chime in on this, but it's tough as a basketball coach having to navigate through so many players being out, and then some other guys have to play roles and minutes that they're not used to.
Yeah,
exactly.
Foul trouble, bad.
Especially in a situation too where you looked at this roster at the beginning of the season, a guy like Josh Reed probably was going to be your 8th or 9th guy off the bench, and then obviously roles have changed and he gets inserted into a starting lineup. He makes his first career start in 3 years. So Cincinnati has been rolling with the same starting lineup. Like CMOS Lukosha started the last 50 games for Cincinnati up until last night. Wow. It's kind of hard to find that when you have a glue guy like CMOS who's been a starter since he came to Cincinnati. So once you take him out of the lineup, you're going to see guys playing in a role that they're not really familiar with. And that's not easy to really come by nowadays in college basketball. Working that camaraderie, working that relationship with those into the starting lineup, getting those rotations right. Obviously, that messes with your flow of things, especially in we're in game 15 of the Big 12 play last night. So especially when you're 3/4 of the way through the season, it's hard to build that repertoire between everybody in that starting lineup, especially when you have to make these changes late in the year.
Nah, for sure, man. It's rough. You have Chisel gets foul trouble, and you see the tear he's been on lately, and he had one of his better games, and the Bearcats was about 3. It's rough, and I will say this: like the play at the end with Tyler Bessie, that shot was a clean shot. Just missed it, but I mean it was a hell of a look. You really can't ask for much better look than that, honestly.
And you couldn't ask for anybody else to take that shot, knowing how good of a shooter Tyler Bessie is.
Yeah, so you can live with that shot. It's just rough. The Bearcats just don't have that luck to be able to, whatchamacallit. I watch Arizona, they're down 3 and do hits a 3/4 court shot. Our luck isn't on our side when it comes to that. But that's why I was just pointing out the stuff earlier besides the shot. The shot wasn't the reason why they lost. It just little stuff. And then, like you said, the injuries don't help, man. But I'm just, try to gloss over that because, they're just they're in a rough spot.
Yep. This is the Bearcat game recap segment sponsored by Purple Monkey Project. Hey, the only thing I want to add to kind of the recap of the game is this, in my eyes, was a game that the UC Bearcats had to win. They had to win this basketball game for any NCAA hopes. And I think losing this game, just takes them out of the picture unless they make some, really big run in the Big 12 tournament. I just don't see them making the tournament at this point. You guys agree or disagree with that?
I agree with you guys.
I agree totally. This one is the backbreaker because if you win this game, you can live with the Iowa State loss. You can hopefully gloss over the Kansas State loss early in the season. And a couple others, it kind of rights the wrong of losing at Fifth Third Arena to West Virginia a couple weeks ago or earlier in the month. But
you lose to West Virginia twice.
They beat you at home and at home and away. So it's just one of those things, man. It's you run out of time. Like, sometimes you can right your wrongs, but sometimes you run out of time. And right now, unless they have a hell of a next 5 games and in a nice Big 12 tournament, man, the odds can't be in their favor at all right now.
So much has to happen.
Yeah.
So much has to happen. So
yeah,
we will see. The Purple Monkey Project was formed following the tragic loss of 10-year-old Reagan Vanas in May of 2021. Reagan was a ray of sunshine who lifted up every room. The Purple Monkey Project is named after Reagan's favorite stuffed animal and seeks to keep Reagan's spirit alive by being a ray of light in the community and promoting random acts of kindness. By providing scholarships and other financial support of youth and youth-centered charities in Southwest Ohio, the Purple Monkey Project seeks to pay it forward, all in the name of Reagan. To learn more about the Purple Monkey Project, please visit purplemonkeyproject.org or visit them on Facebook at Purple Monkey Project. This Saturday at noon, the Bearcats take on TCU at the beautiful Fifth Third Arena. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Now let's jump right into the Big O segment sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. In this segment, we cover players to watch and key matchups. JT, who do we need to watch out for? Or who are you expecting a big game from?
Yeah, we need a big game from Jizzle James, man. He went 6 for 20 against West Virginia. Need to write that. Get back to the 8, the 7 for 10s and stuff he was doing before that. So I want to see that, like I said, and against Iowa State, want to see him over 17 points. Hopefully he gets out of foul trouble, man, because I hurt him against West Virginia. I don't think he caught his flow as much, and it hurt the Bearcats. So want to see him doing his thing, and he has to be aggressive, man. He's the guy. He's one of the main guys that can get where he wants on the floor, and you just got to make the shots, man. Make the shots, and if they overplay him, get somebody involved. But got to be aggressive.
Yep, and it's great to see Jizzle starting to play well because, JT, we remember that streak where Jizzle was just flat out not himself.
Yep.
Some games just awful. I think wasn't it one game he had 0 points? Is that right?
The first game at West Virginia.
So to see him playing the way he is now, it's good to see him get that mojo, that swag back. I don't know what he did to fix it. I think maybe it was that trip back home.
Back home. Since he went home, man, he's been legit. He's been double digits every game. He's been trying to put the team on his back, so I respect it. And that's what they need, man. They need people that want to try to make this happen. And he's one of the guys that can.
Put the team on my back, though.
Yeah.
What was that from again? What was it, dude? Remember that?
Yeah, it's a YouTube video. It might be a Vine video, like with great. It's a Madden game.
Yeah.
You be like,
how you say it? Do it.
He's like, I put the team on my back. I put the team on my back, though. I need to watch that again. That's hilarious, actually.
That was hilarious. Put the team on my back, though.
He's like, got a broken leg. Look at this. One of the hardest hitting safeties, Darren Sharper. try to tackle me. Something like you say. That was funny.
We used to always say that. Put the team on my back.
Put the team on my back, though.
Neil, do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, I've seen that Vine.
Oh, yes.
I've seen it.
Neil, man.
I gotta watch that again.
We got put the team on my back, though. Who else did he talk about in that? Was there another player he had?
Did he have like a beast? Did he have a beast mode one too?
I think he had a Marshawn Lynch one, if I remember right.
Man, those
he had two. That was funny.
There was two.
Look, he got a broken leg.
Oh God, we get so damn off topic. Neil, what do we need to look out for from UC and TCU?
Yeah, for my player to watch for Cincinnati in this one, I'm kind of going to take a different turn of things. I'm going to go with Josh Reed. I mean, he's the guy who stepped in when the lineup got changed over the weekend or last night with Simas Lukosius out. If Simas is unable to go on Saturday versus TCU, look for Josh Reed to be that guy who kind of steps in again and takes on that starting spot, especially with the way he's been playing. I mean, it's kind of an easy decision for Wes Miller because Josh Reed's been playing his best ball of his career as of late. But I think that could be the spark that Cincinnati needs, especially down the stretch here. You got 5 more games left. You're back at Fifth Third Arena. Obviously, you saw the support he got last week after the 2 double-digit performances. This is going to be a huge opportunity for Josh Reed to get back and become a huge impact player for this team, especially right there back at Fifth Third Arena. But on top of things, you turn it over to TCU. The player for me to watch is I'm going to go with Ernst Uda Jr., the Bigfoot 7-foot center. I mean, this is a guy who has killed teams in the past. He started his career at Kansas. He made the transfer to TCU. He started 24 games for the Horned Frogs this year, but you look down, he's only averaging 7 points, but averaging 8 boards on the season too. And the way Cincinnati has not been rebounding the ball right now, he could be a guy that could this be a game for a double-double for a guy like Ernst Uda? It's very possible, especially with the performances that TCU's coming off a huge upset win versus top 15 Texas Tech over the weekend. Everything is going right for TCU right now heading into this one, and it all kind of comes around the play of Ernst Uda.
So do you think with the insertion of Josh Reed into the starting lineup, what did you guys think about that and him not putting Dan Skillings in?
Personally, I think it was a good decision because, I mean, you look at the way Josh Reed has been playing right now. He's provided a spark not many people kind of expected at the beginning of the season. I mean, we've kind of expected it and have always said when he gets in, he's going to make an impact on this team throughout the season. That's because we've watched him work all offseason. We've watched him work throughout the season and the work he's put in the gym. But I thought that was a great idea into the starting lineup on Wednesday night. And I like the decision for West to do so and for Josh Reed to take on the Javon Small assignment. Josh Reed has shown he's able to take on teams' best scorers, and he showcased it on Wednesday night. I mean, Javon Small was averaging 23 versus Cincinnati in his last 4 games, and you hold him to, 16 this time? I mean, he still got his points, but overall, I think it was the right decision for Wes Miller and this staff.
Oh, no, for sure. It's interesting, but, they're going to need them both, man. And I think, you put, Reed's been hitting a few threes, just playing scrappy. Just reward him playing defense. Just need Dan to hopefully those couple threes Dan hit at the end of the game helps him snap out of it. But they're going to need him. Simas is going to be out. Hickman's not coming back, of course. They're gonna need another scorer, and Dan's was that guy. I just don't. I think after the injury, he's just not been himself. But the Bearcats need him in a major way, man, because the Dan we saw last year early in the season, there's no way he would be playing. There's no way I would think he'd be playing like this right now. So I hope he is able to, Saturday to kind of snap out of it. And hopefully those threes help him get out of that funk.
And dude, that's a good talking point too, JT, because obviously you see all this stuff on social media, but people forget that Dan Skillings has also only been playing basketball for what? This is now year 5 of organized basketball. He didn't start playing until he was a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
So at that point, he's already behind the 8 ball a little bit in terms of organized basketball, because most of these kids are starting when they were, 4 to 5 years old, and he's starting when he's 16. And then on top of it, I believe this was the first major injury, and everybody knows who has played sports knows how bad the first injury can really mess with your mental kind of space too, especially a serious one like what Dan had to go through. So I think people need to kind of put that into consideration a little bit too. Like, A, it's not easy to overcome that kind of injury that he overcame, but B, overcome it so quickly. I think people forget, like, he was back on the court, 2.5 weeks after it? Like, he was back shooting literally days after surgery, and people kind of forget. Like, I don't really think people realize like how hard that was on him to get back to the court as quick as he did. And they're quick to see all the negative things, but they're not quick to see the hard work and the testament behind closed doors.
Thanks.
Well, this is part of also this generation of basketball. I think I'm going to put everybody included, want players to be so good so quickly.
Yeah.
We forget about the maturation process that happens. We can go back to the Kenyon Martins, the SKs, and all these guys, that Steve Logan, that were here for a while and had to mature in the game. And Dan's still new. He's still learning the game. But, we as fans want players to be so good so quickly. Put them in a microwave. Boom. They got to be ready to go like that.
Thanks.
Sometimes we got to let these players grow. The Big O segment is sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. Hey, so my player to watch is going to be Aziz, and I'm picking Aziz from a rebounding standpoint. JT, you said we got out-rebounded West Virginia game. What was do you remember what it was?
I'm about to pull it up, actually.
I believe it was 39-32.
40-32.
40-32. So we get out-rebounded 40-32. My hope is that Aziz could have some impact rebounding the basketball and also protecting the rim. So I'm going to roll with Aziz on this one. JT, you got Jizzle. Neil, you got Josh Reed, and I'm rolling with Aziz. The Big O segment sponsored by Smart Dog Solutions. Do you have a business that needs better inventory control, production management, or improved accounting control? Outgrown QuickBooks or can't afford NetSuite? Give loyal Bearcat grads Doug and Kathy Jacobs at Smart Dog Solutions a call. They've been in your position and would love to help solve your problems. They can be reached at 513-739-9473 or online at smartdog-solutions.com. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the world-famous, everybody's favorite segment, the Name Game with Neil Meyer, sponsored by Oakley Greens.
Hey, I think this might be the easiest name game of the year for the folks listening to the podcast.
First of all, Neil, do your dance first. Okay? Thank you. All right. Good. I always got to see the Neil chair dance there.
Hey, you treated Neil like Shiggy.
What? What'd I do? What'd you say?
You treated Neil like Shiggy. Remember that dude? He did the dance for Kiki.
Oh, Kiki, are you with me?
You treated him like Shiggy, man.
I should have put the background. The virtual background to a car, so it would have looked like I was actually doing the dance.
Oh man! Oh, well, we always go off on.
Yeah.
All right.
My bad. Go ahead.
That's all right. TCU. Okay, Neil. Let's pull up the TCU roster. Okay.
All right, we're all set.
You're all set?
Yeah.
All right. I'm getting all set. Shoot. Because I have one on here that isn't even really the name. It's also something else. I'll tell you about in a second. So with the name game with Neil Meyer, here's what we do. We look at the opposing team and we look at some of the names that are either tough to say, pronounce, or just sometimes we think it's a cool name. So we're going to start with number 3.
Number 3 is Vaishon Alette.
That's actually kind of a cool name.
Yeah, ain't bad. Sean.
Yeah, like that. Number 8, Kobe.
Number 8 is Ernst Uda Jr.
Yep, that's your guy. You said that already. Okay, that was clean. Number 13.
Number 13 is Trezarian White.
Man, JT, people just make names, man.
Hey, they freestyle his name, boy.
Hey, they were in the hospital. Like, yeah, let's go ahead and just.
It's like switch hands on that one. That was wild. Trezarian. Damn.
Woo.
Glad he hooping.
Man.
Glad he hooping.
Hey, question for you guys. So, when LeBron became popular, prior to LeBron, I had never met or heard the name LeBron in my life. Had you guys?
I had never heard it.
Prior to LeBron?
Yeah,
correct?
prior to LeBron.
Why have I met 2 guys that are like in their 50s and 60s named LeBron?
For real?
Yes. And I'm like, I don't believe you.
Hey, I never heard a name until LeBron James. I ain't gonna lie.
I listen, I totally agree with you. Like, I had never heard that name ever.
Yeah, me either. That's crazy.
And I've met old people, and I'm like, older people, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no way your real name
is LeBron. They might have changed their name.
I think they did, but they're capping, as the young people say.
And now we got that TikTok that goes LeBron James.
Ooh, that was bad, Neil. You got to work. That was bad, Neil. Let's work on this real quick. Let me do it for you. LeBron James. Okay. Now try it, Neil. Go ahead.
LeBron James.
So bad, Neil. Oh my God. JT, that was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Let's hear JT's.
Good. I'm on the spot now, man. Like LeBron James.
LeBron. Okay, now try.
I should do that. I should do that so much, man. My wife used to cuss me out.
Every time I heard it, I can't say his name sometimes without doing that.
Yeah, me too.
I was like,
at least I might do that like twice.
I love when LeBron says it. LeBron occasionally like LeBron James. I'm like, he just did it. Try it again, Neil. You ready?
LeBron James.
God, that's so bad. Neil. All right, Neil. I've got a new so fuck Gilligan's Island. Cujo. You're gonna study the LeBron James video. You're gonna work on saying that. Next episode, you gotta have it down pat. Okay? You promise me?
I got it.
Black History homework for the week. You have Black History homework every week, okay, Neil?
I got you.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Back to the name game. We are now on number 32.
Number 32 is Malik Diallo.
That was pretty easy.
Yeah.
No, this is an easier.
This is easy.
It's an easier team.
Yeah, this is easier team. Now this one's not difficult to say, but I'm gonna have a question behind this. Number 35.
Number 35 is Cole Despy.
Why wouldn't that be Despy?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
I think he is silent, but Despy.
It's probably Despy, but no, Despy. No, wait a minute. What'd you say? What was the first thing you said? Despy. It's probably Despy, but it looks like it should be pronounced Despy.
Despy.
Yeah. True.
Huh.
Yeah, I would think that's I would think that's fine. But it's probably Despy. You're right.
Yep.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. There are some things in the English language, like you read them and you hear it, and I'm like, okay, that's not how it's spelled.
Yeah.
It
Facts.
throws me off all the time.
Yeah.
Like Sade.
Huh?
Sade, the singer.
Shout out.
Like you read it, it's like that doesn't say Sade. Do you know who Sade is, Neil?
I've heard, but I don't know who they are.
I can't keep piling on all the stuff we need you to go and listen to. I'm sorry. We'll just breeze past that. Okay. Now, this last one that I want to cover. So go to number 41. Okay. And it's not his name. Click on his picture. Now, does that not look real?
Yeah, that hair definitely does not look real.
That looks like somebody just sat that on his head.
Hey, it does.
Does that look seriously? Just look at it. It's like, wait a minute, that's not.
People always talk about like when you are like measuring your height, they're always like, okay, well, if he's got shorter hair, he's like what, 6'5"? Jace Posey is listed at 6'5". Do you think that's including the hair or no?
Yeah, he looked just like him. I knew that had to be.
Oh snap! James Posey's son.
James Posey's son. Yep. Yeah, he looked just like him. I was like, dang. When I looked at the hair and 41.
And 41. How did I not see that before?
Yep.
He looks just
like him.
Posey.
He looked just like him. That's why I was like, hold up. And I looked at the notes. I was like, it gotta be his son. And damn sure it was.
Let's see if he's what kind of minutes he's averaging this year.
You know who James Posey is, Neil?
Yeah. Hey, he's played in all 25 games this year.
Wow.
Damn, that's crazy.
I'm going to have to hunt him down and tell him I played against his dad in college. Wow.
That's what's up.
That's
he looked just like him.
He does. But I'm going to tell James, I said, can we talk about your son's hair? Like what's going on with that?
No, he got braided or something.
Yeah, he's got to do something with that.
He could put it in a ponytail if he wants to, but he got to do something.
Something. That is James Posey's son. Oh my gosh,
that's crazy.
And I just saw the hair, and I was like, we got to comment. Wow.
And then we looked at the hair. I was like, he looked just like him. Then I like confirmed him.
Just like him. Good call. Good catch, JT.
Yeah.
Wow. That was the name game with Neil Meyer, sponsored by Oakley Greens. Oakley Greens, the ultimate spot to catch your hometown team in every big game. With 6 giant LED screens and TVs at every angle, it's more than a sports bar. It's your entertainment headquarters. All the sports, all the time, all at Oakley Greens. Located in Oakley Station next to the cinemas. You can check out their website, oakleygreens.com. I think we might be having a March Madness podcast there. Hopefully our Bearcats may not be in it. But Hey, the Bearcats aren't in it. I hope Xavier's not in.
Yeah.
The only way it's got to be.
Yeah, if Xavier's in it, man, I might crash out.
It's gonna hurt the soul.
Yeah, I might crash out at the podcast.
Hey, if Xavier makes it, we need to get Corey back at Oakley Greens with that group of Xavier fans who kept looking at him weird because we were talking UC in Oakley after Xavier just beat a very bad DePaul team, and they all stood around to watch UC get beat by, 11 versus a top 10 team in the country.
I didn't see those people. Did you see?
Yeah, there was a big group of Xavier fans in the back. You didn't see the guy throw the XU up to Corey when he left?
I didn't see it. JT.
Yeah. That's all like it was a little group because Lou had a Xavier hoodie on. It was probably like 6, 7.
Yeah, somebody threw an XU up to Corey, and it was.
I wish I would have known it. I would threw some like little potato wedges at him. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, next time, point them out so we can throw stuff at them.
Yeah.
The Kenyon segment, sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. This is where we cover the keys to the game. JT, what do the Bearcats need to do to win?
Hey, they got to rebound the ball, man. Like I said, I don't mind them losing on the board, but, man, they lost by 8 again. I still want them to stay within 5. Lose a game by 3 points, get out rebounded by 8 doesn't help. And I want them to free throws, man. 2 of 7. Create more free throw opportunities, but when you get there, you got to make them. I need them to shoot 70%. This team is, with the injuries, they are handcuffed kind of right now offensively a little bit, so they got to take advantage of every little detail, every little category. That's one of them. So those two: rebound the ball, make some free throws.
Yeah, I think you make a great point on the free throw. So it's one thing to get to the free throw line. So we need to improve on getting to the free throw line. Once you get there, you need to make them.
You got to make them, man. You got to make them. At least make. Come on now. We got to split everything. Everything needs to be a split at least. And we need to make a couple of the two first.
Neil, your thoughts? What do the Bearcats need to do to win?
Yeah, for me, 2 things. Let's keep the turnover number to where it was versus West Virginia. Just 6 turnovers. You can keep that turnover around that 6 to 8 mark in this game versus TCU. I think you could be in great hands. But in the end, they got to find their rhythm offensively, and they're going to have to be aggressive. If Simas Lukosius is unable to go again on Saturday for Cincinnati, you got to find ways to get downhill and attack the rim. You got to put pressure on the rim. Pause. But if you don't drive and attack this TCU team, you got to find ways to get to the foul line. That's going to win you plenty of games. I mean, 7 free throws versus a struggling West Virginia team. It's just unacceptable when you lose a game by 3 points, right? Especially without Simas. Find a way to get opposing teams into foul trouble, not get yourselves into foul trouble.
Two things. One, any update on Simas?
I have not had a chance to get an update from Simas today, but there was video of him. Shout out our friend Scott Springer, who was on scene last night in Morgantown. He posted a video of him going through warm-ups, but everything was predominantly like he was keeping the right arm basically tucked to his body. He was doing some shooting with his left hand, doing some passes with his left hand, but he was trying to really limit the range of motion for that right shoulder. So status still to be determined for Saturday versus TCU.
And that pause you threw in there, I'm not was that really a pause? What'd you say?
I said you have to attack the rim. So pause it.
What do you think, JT?
I guess.
Because I didn't want to continue running into the next sentence, so I paused it.
Okay. You can roll with it.
Okay. Well, let's slide on this one. The Kenyon segment is sponsored by Greg Hood at Beachmont Toyota. Look, my key is very simple. We got to score the basketball. And my thought is I think the 2 parts of the game to start the game and to start the second half, we can focus in on that, go on big runs there. I think that will allow us to score the ball a little bit more and hopefully win the game, because I don't know what our record is when we score over 80, but I like our chances when we score over 80. And on top of that, let me add this in too, real quick too. I would like to see us get some sort of consistent 1-2 punch, because if you were to say offensively, our 1-2 punch, who is it? Obviously, Jizzle's one. Who's the other?
Maybe Day.
Day. Could be Day. Yeah, but it was last, right? It was right?
Maybe. I mean, he's the only one that's kind of trying to, be. I mean, it's other people being aggressive.
I think the 1-2 punch right now is Day and Jizzle James.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But speaking back to your previous part, Meach, the Bearcats this year are 10-0 all the way throughout the season, non-conference included, when they score 80 or more points.
I didn't even know that. Bingo. There we go. So here's what I'm doing. I'm Coach Miller, right?
Yeah.
Let's score 80 points or more, fellas. What we got to do? Pick up the pace of play.
Yeah.
Play faster. Keep play even faster.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Got to.
I mean, my opinion is when I think we're most successful offensively, we're playing at a certain pace. Now, I don't think that all falls on West, because I don't think he's telling them necessarily to always pull back or slow it down. I just think sometimes the players are reading things a certain way.
Yeah.
Whereas it's weird. That's weird because, like, if I'm a player, Most players want to play fast.
True.
They don't want to slow down and go to a half-court set.
Nope.
Players don't, right?
Yep. Definitely don't want to go to the set if you can avoid it.
If you can avoid it, push it, penetrate, pitch, fire that bad boy up.
Exactly.
And if your coach is telling you that, shit.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get more shots, so you got more chance. Got more chance to score. Got more chance for error. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Let's score over 80 points. We now know that. That's going to be a goal there. The Kenyon segment, Keys to the Game, was sponsored by Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota. Come see fellow Bearcat Greg Hooden at Beachmont Toyota for all your new and pre-owned Toyota needs. Look for Greg Hooden on Instagram and Twitter at Cincy Greg Hooden. Hooden is spelled Hoodin. Or come see Greg at Beachmont Toyota. Always ready to help our Bearcat family get into a new Toyota. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Now, the Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. This is where we cover hot topics, and I got a good one for you, fellas. So let's take this year's Bearcat basketball team. Obviously, we started the non-conference off really well. Get into conference play, we've struggled. We've been up and down. Okay, we've seen some deficiencies with this basketball team. So my question is, if we could look at a former player from the Bearcat past, one of our greats, one of our legends, if Neil, JT, you could pick one former Bearcat great legend to place on this season's team to help get this team to the next level, who would it be and why? JT, go.
All right. So with me, I will go with Jason Maxill. He gives you a consistent low post player, solid on the glass, blocks shots at a high clip. Finished around the rim, had good hands. I guess we'll say pause on that. But we got two on that one. But he's one of those guys, super tough, not gonna get bullied. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's one of those dudes, man. Like you gotta. He got that I might slap you vibe. You know what I'm saying? He's a cool dude, but you don't mess with him. And I think that's what kind of one of those guys that the Bearcats really missing on this team. Just like might go off script.
Have you ever seen the video of Jason Maxill?
Overseas?
Huh?
Overseas?
Yes, chasing around that. Oh my God, how funny is that?
Man, classic.
That's top 10 right there.
Classic. I mean, that dude's running around like he ran like a quarter mile to get away from him.
He feared for his life. Have you ever seen that, Neil?
Yeah.
Maxill was ready to kill him.
Man, he didn't care about that contract at that time.
No.
At all. So yeah.
He woke up ready for violence.
Facts. Yeah. So I think Maxill will be a great addition to this team if they had somebody like him.
Neil?
Yeah, obviously I'm going a little different of a route since I knew JT was going to go attack the front court. Obviously that would be a huge addition for Cincinnati right now. I'm going to take somebody who is a fan favorite in Cincinnati. Imagine Sean Kilpatrick playing alongside Jizzle James right now, especially after the run that Sean put up his senior year. It gives you that offensive killer right there with Sean Kilpatrick, especially when he had the ability to take over games. I believe his senior year, he averaged 21 points a game. So not only that, but it allows Jizzle James to slide off to the two, which is what we are seeing right now and where he's having a lot of success there. So I think that gives you the 1-2 punch for Cincinnati on the offensive end. I think that's what this team would really need. Obviously, everyone's going to talk about they need a presence inside on the offensive end who is able to put the ball on the floor and get a good post move and get to the rack. But overall, I think just imagine you have a lineup consisting of Sean Kilpatrick at the 1, or Jizzle James at the 1, Sean Kilpatrick at the 2, vice versa, Dylan Mitchell, Aziz Bandego, and a potentially fully healthy Simas Lukosius. I think that could be a huge, huge lineup for Cincinnati.
I like that. I think as you think about, we need to score more, right? I talked about getting to the 80s. That is definitely a guy that can help us, SK, get to the 80s for sure.
Facts.
The Twyman segment sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. Mine's gonna be, and I got to go with my former roommate, teammate, Kenyon Martin, and I go with Kenyon for several different reasons. One, that post presence, you could throw the basketball down to him in the post, and positive things are going to happen. That helps that scoring, getting to 80 points.
Yeah.
Also, when Kenyon was focused on rebounding the basketball, he was going to rebound a fucking basketball, and we would not have a problem on the rebounding end. And then probably the biggest thing that I see with Kenyon is he's that alpha dog. He is that dog. What was that one coach? We need dogs. We don't need cats. We need dogs.
I forgot. I know you're talking about, but I can't think who did that one. Yeah.
We need dogs.
We need dogs.
That's another good one. I'm like, that was a real press conference. Kenyon would definitely change that locker room vibe. He'd be that guy that comes in like, you don't get it together, I will slap your mama. Like, that type of mentality.
Yep. Sometimes you need the off script guys. Sometimes, man.
Yep.
You need the off script guys.
Yep.
And Kenyon wasn't going.
for sure. And the only other player that I thought of for this team is you think about this team, and I think, listen, I love Jizzle and I love Day. I do think Jizzle, from running a point guard position standpoint, still isn't there yet. He's still working towards that. And Day, off and on, I think does good job getting us into things. But when you think about a Kenny Satterfield, you know what I'm saying, like a Sat type of player at the point guard position to help out this basketball team, and then you got Jizzle and you got a savvy, I mean, Satterfield came in pretty much a veteran type of guard right off the rip. JT, your thoughts?
True. Nah, 100%. I'll say that. There's a couple other people I thought about.
Who else?
Like the Stokes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can do it all kind of a thing. Like, he got you kind of go point forward and then let
Mm-hmm.
And with his size, his attacking, shoot. So like, he's gonna score. He was a guy, and I thought about Fortson as well, just because they need a guy that just like.
I like that one.
Like, Fortson gonna get his, and the way people play these days, no disrespect to the current college, but Fortson definitely getting a 20. He definitely getting you 20 and 10 in this college. You gonna have a wing on him. He putting them in the basket, especially in college.
Yeah, I like that. I like the Danny one a lot.
Yeah. Because you need somebody, like, if they have somebody you can just throw it down occasionally to calm it down occasionally.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When stuff getting awry, all right, cool, let's throw it down here. He calm it down and he's shooting 50%. You're going to be all right. Because that's what a lot of teams got, man. Like, I feel like when we played Baylor, they just threw it down to the Omer dude at times. And he just, when shit got a little hairy, he was just like, all right, let me get this bucket. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You got it. Have it. Yep.
I like that one. The Twyman segment is sponsored by Visionary Cleaners. Visionary Cleaners is a locally owned company by former Bearcat student athletes. They specialize in high-quality commercial cleaning of businesses, apartments, and pre- and post-construction cleans. They can be reached at 513-388-7816 or contacted online at visionarycleaners.com. Fellas, this concludes another great podcast. Thanks to all of our sponsors: Donahue Accounting Services, Smart Dog Solutions, Greg Hood and Beachmont Toyota, Visionary Cleaners, Purple Monkey Project, and Oakley Greens. Hey, before we get off of here, all right, I just want to say, first of all, I got a suit on.
You got a suit for clean.
I did not wear the suit for the podcast. Sorry, fellas.
Clean.
I'm clean. Thank you. This was for, I went to the Harrison High School Sports Stag where Bob Huggins was the guest speaker. First of all, shout out Mark Mybers, the athletic director at Harrison High School, and all the people behind the scenes. They put on a fantastic sports stag. Very well done. from beginning to end. A lot of great people out there at Harrison, man. A lot of former players were in the building. Corey Blunt, I need to text you guys a video I took of him telling a story about why he came to UC. Corey's such a good storyteller. Terry Nelson ended up showing up late. He was doing the Montgomery and Coaches show. Steve Sanders, Big Shot Steve was in the building. Andre Tate, Terrace Gibson, the helicopter Mel Levitt, Sean Myrick. Who else am I missing? Antoine Peak was in the building.
Okay.
Ron Gossett, former Bearcat football player. So we had a lot of former players show up and show Hugs a lot of love, man. And it's good to see Hugs. He lost a lot of weight. Wait till you see the picture I send you. He cut his hair. He looks a lot better.
Yeah, he looked good down in Orlando a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, the picture that Terry posted. Yep. He lost even more weight.
Dang.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. So he looked good. So I was happy to see that. So that's why. And I rushed home just to do the podcast. So that's why I'm in my suit here. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. For friendly expert tax advice whenever you need it, come to Donahue Accounting Services. A leading accounting firm in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our top-notch accountants strive to help you resolve all your financial and tax issues. Call Donahue Accounting Services today for a free consultation at 513-528-3982 or visit online at donahueaccountingservice.com. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Bearcat Tip-Off Talk podcast presented by Donahue Accounting Services. Go Bearcats.